Welcome back, class. This video will discuss our next two vocabulary words for this unit, abstract sculpture, and how they apply to the overall unit, production, and even the essential question. All right, so your next word or your first word for this lesson is structural balance. Structural balance is defined as that all weight is equally distributed. The sculpture rests flat on the surface without falling over. So this is really important when talking about the production of your sculpture, which you're going to begin in this lesson. And while you are sculpting and building this sculpture, even though you're focusing on the abstract qualities, you also want to equally be thinking about the balance of the structure and make sure that it's not falling over when you put it down. You want it to be strong in weight, that the weight is not going to break the base of the foundation because the top half is heavier than the bottom. And essentially just that it sits flat and sturdy. One way of doing this at the bottom right is to kind of create like a rectangular or square or something flat where you kind of just like bang the clay against the surface of the table to flatten it out, so that way your sculpture can rest on that without the whole thing tipping over. And this is interesting because this figure who looks like he's about to throw a boomerang or some kind of javelin type thing, their leg is up and they look like the whole thing could tip over. But because of the weight of the leg attached to this block at the bottom, it does keep it structurally balanced. And in contrast, this big cube over here with the hole in the middle, it actually looks like it's not structurally balanced, but because of the corner here being carved out and supported, I'm sure there's some kind of rod or something supporting it in the middle, it actually is structurally balanced, but it gives the illusion that it's not. So ultimately just make sure that your sculpture is flat and can rest flat on the surface. Even in a photograph, which is how you submit your artwork to me in this class, I can tell if it's structurally balanced or not. So please make sure that that is standing upright for you. Okay, so the next word is visual balance. So visual balance has to do with distributing the weight equally. So distributing the design throughout all the spaces of an artwork. So down here you have examples of visual balance. So even something simple like this canvas in this museum gallery, where these lines are balanced equally throughout. They're symmetrical. In this case, your design does not need to be symmetrical, but it does need to be used throughout. In a sculpture, you want to think about it being in the round, that there's details and designs in the front, the back, all sides, the top, the bottom, and down here you can see this sculpture here of these two figures sitting on what looks like to be this seesaw. That shows actual physical balance, but the design itself is balanced. We have a design at the bottom, the right, the left. Everything's interconnected with the seesaw board. Even these two acrobats who are swinging around this center pole, everything is visually and structurally balanced. And that is why we're discussing both words in this video, because you not only want your sculpture to first be structurally balanced, but second, for it to also be visually balanced and have your design incorporated throughout the entire project. And I've just realized that my light has been off the entire time. I apologize. As you guys already know, my lights shut off every 10 minutes or so, and I have to keep turning them back on. So we discussed structural, visual balance. Oops. And then lastly, your third question for this week is, why should a sculpture be structurally and visually balanced? Why is that important? We basically already talked about both of those, but make sure that you take your knowledge from this video and your own insight and answer that question in your entrance ticket. That concludes this video for the Lesson 2 vocab. Please make sure you answer all 3 questions after this in your entrance ticket and submit that for an easy 3 points. And then I will see you all shortly in the Lesson 2 instructional video, where we're going to discuss how to build your sculpture out of the clay that was supplied to you. All right, guys, message me if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing what you guys have been working on. Bye, everyone.